Good afternoon, everyone. Scott G here with the Simple Trading Life. Hope everyone is enjoying their Tuesday afternoon. It's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. Nice and cool, sunny. Just an absolutely beautiful day. I've already been out for a walk today and just really enjoying the day. Not a whole lot going on trading-wise, so enjoying other things. So let me let me get situated here, and then we will dive into we'll dive into some analysis of the market. So if this is your first time or you're brand new, or even if you're not new, go ahead and give us a hello. Tell us who you are. Also where you are. Nobody ever tells us where they are. So maybe tell us who you are and where you are in the world. And we really appreciate you joining us. Let me scroll this over. Obviously, this is ES that I have up on the screen here. We'll wait for a couple more people to join us, and then we'll get started. Let me get stretched out. Just had a nice nice shower, enjoying a cup of tea. I don't drink a lot of tea, but tea sounded good today. Having some peach tea. There's a few more people joining us. Welcome, everyone. As I was just saying, if you're just joining us, say hello in the comments. Let us know who you are and where you're at. General part of the world or your state or city. I am coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. I live just outside of Atlanta, so that's where I'm at. And I know members in our room, we have people from literally all over the world. So as some folks are joining us, we'll go ahead and kind of take a look here at where we're at with ES. As you can see, I sort of have the daily range marked out with these alerts. This was our opening candle. Excuse me, this was our opening candle. We had a spinning top, which is a candle of indecision. This is, of course, well, I'm sorry. I thought I was on my 30-minute. I was on the 15. Let me get to the 30-minute. Have it where we need it. There we go. Now I'll make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see the candles better. There we go. All right, so this was our opening candle. Okay, we had a hammer on the 30-minute, and then there was a nice scalping opportunity right above the top of this hammer, which also happened to be the 20 SMA. So if you got above there and held, you knew you were pretty much likely to get some sort of a move up, and got a pretty good move there. Let's see. Basically 29.45 up to 29.55. So it was a $10 move, taking out the 20 period SMA up to the top of this candle. And the top of this candle, as you can see, was confluent with the top of this wick here. And that's where it rejected, and it came back down. Then we went into this little chop fest that we've pretty much been in all day long. So we came down back to the opening price level right here. We again shot up. We again formed a hammer. You could have tried to take a scalp right here at 29.51, but it only got as high as 29.54.50. So could you have made a couple of bucks? You probably could have made a few bucks on that scalp, $3.50. And I was watching this at the time because obviously it's a pretty decent sized wick there. And as you can see, really, we haven't been able to get over it all day. Okay. And we know that this wick is confluent with the top of this wick over here. Okay, so it tried to spike up, then it sold back down to the 20. Okay, but all of these candles were moving up and down, up and down, up and down. That's what I mean by a chop vest. Not an easy day to trade. I took a couple of trades this morning, and I'm basically just relaxing today. This is really, unless something changes, this is not really the type of action that you want to be involved in, because there's not a whole, now we'll look at some other time frames, but there's not a whole lot of good buying signals. And this kind of stuff just chops you up, right? So we'd either like to see price spike to the upside or flush to the downside. I believe, it's my opinion, that there would be more opportunity to the downside. Now that doesn't mean that's where price is going to go. Okay, as you can see here, when we've reclaimed the 20, even though the 20 is flat, we've basically just kind of been riding along the 20 here, above it. So what I would be watching for is either do we start to move away from it, or do we get back underneath of it, break it, hold, and then start to go lower. And this is the critical point here. There's actually another one fairly close. I'll show you here in just a second. But we'd have to get under this wick, just like we needed to get over that wick. Okay, so these two wicks are really sort of defining our range today. If you see here and here. Okay, so either way, if we started to blast up this way, now I told our room, our premium members earlier today, that I believe there would be some resistance up here around 2960 to 2963, kind of right where our 2961 resistance level is. Okay, you see here we're trying to poke up into this wick right now. I had the top of these candles alerted, so that's what that alert was. I believe that we could see some resistance right up in here. So even if we spike up, okay, we might get up in here and then turn around and start heading back down. Now, that's not a guarantee. Okay, there's nothing to say that we can't, go all the way up to the top here, which was a nice strong pivot. You see this? Okay, so we could get up into here. Right? Well, obviously, conceivably, we can go anywhere. We can go anywhere that big money wants to push us. But this level here, let me see. I'm going to go down a time frame or two, because I want to see what it looks like. Yeah. So this, we had this sharp move up and a sharp move right back down. The open of this candle was 2962.50, this candle here. So if, and I'm not saying we will, if they're able to get over this, and this has been resistance, from this wick across, this wick, the tops of these candles, has been resistance up until this point. If we're able to break through there, I would look to see some resistance probably around the opening of this candle or slightly into it. So right up into here, and then maybe a pullback, and then maybe we try to go higher again, or maybe we get up there and then we start back down. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. This is now the 15-minute. You can see how going to different time frames will give you different views. Okay, I just made it a little bit bigger. So no matter whether we're on the 30-minute or the 15-minute, you can see this sharp pivot right here. Price went up at about a 75-degree angle, and then it came right back down at about a 75-degree angle. And it caught some support right down in here. Now, I said I was going to show you, besides this wick right here, what else could act as some support. And that would be this area right here. Okay, which that is a part of. But if you kind of put your candle, your cursor right there, 29.27 to 29.30.50, right in there. Okay, see what we had? We had a rally, base, rally. Okay, so that right there could act as some support, this basing area here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles. So that's a little bit longer than like what we would typically like for a demand zone, but it's still a basing area. Okay, still a basing area. If I wanted to, I could draw a triangle across, or excuse me, a rectangle across there. If we go down to the 30-minute, you'll see the same thing on the 30-minute. Let's come back right over here. Okay, now on the 30-minute, okay, it's only 4 candles right through here. See it? Obviously, there's 8 candles on the 15-minute because they're half as long as the 30-minute candles. Tammy, this is the 20 SMA. Let me just double check and make sure I didn't do anything. Oh, I did. Excuse me. That is just, there we go. Thank you for catching that. That was just a clerical error. Always use the 20 and the 200. 20 and the 200. Thank you for noticing that. I just, I must have hit a button or something. Okay, didn't really change much. We're still, as you can see, it's still flat. So far, price has still just kind of been gliding along here. You can see how it's been flat. We were moving away right here. We talked about this in our private live stream yesterday. We were getting further and further and further away from the 200. Now, again, that leads me to believe that at some point, price is either just going to consolidate for a while and the 200s are going to start to catch up, or price is going to drop and the 200 is going to start to catch up. Okay, either way. Now, that doesn't, I'm not talking about right now. I'm not talking about, this second. In fact, when I talked about it yesterday, I said it could be overnight session. It could be one, couple days, whatever. But I do believe that at some point, either price is going to continue to consolidate while the 200 catches back up, or at some point it's going to drop. It's going to go below the 20 and come back down and bring those two moving averages back together. Okay, up here, all I've marked is we had a little bit of a broadening triangle starting to form, and I just marked the top. The bottom here, if I draw it just off of these candles here, it comes way down here. And I don't think we're very likely to be going down there anytime soon. Just like I believe we're going to get some resistance up in here before we would ever get back to the top on this attempt. Now, obviously, if we come up here and reject back down and come back and reject back down, we'll eventually get through here, right? Nothing holds forever. Okay, so right now, let me give you an idea of how this has been playing out. So, okay, you went from here to here. These are pretty much confluent. You went from here to here. Then here, down to here. Then we came up. Now, if we look at this, we would almost be saying, actually, let me come over to here. This is the higher point. I don't know why it's not. There we go. Okay. Now, if we wouldn't have seen anything else on the screen, at this point, we would have been thinking, hey, we're forming a W pattern, okay, which is nothing more than a double bottom, right? Okay, if we didn't know what was coming next, especially if I move it over one more, okay, that would have looked like, hey, we're going back up here, right? And then, okay, then it just sort of stalled out sideways. Actually, it pulled back, and now it's trying to come back up. But, again, this level right across here, I can even draw it. Visuals are the best. Okay, there we go. Okay, this level right across here, as you can see, barely poking above it and then rejecting, barely poking above it. Okay, so we'll know if we're about to get some stronger upside. And when we say stronger, that's all relative. That could just be right up into here. Okay, but we'll know if we get a sharp break of this. But here is our recent price action. Okay, down, lower low, lower high, basically the same low, an even low, okay, which basically gives you a double bottom. If you're into those kind of things, okay, then we came back up, made a high here, pulled back down to the 20 right here, and now we're trying to move back up again. But we know where our potential areas are, okay? So this 2961, let me see if I can go back far enough on this chart. Yes. No. Maybe. Let's see here. I may have to go to a different chart. Yes, let me go to like a 1 hour. I think a 1 hour will get us back there. Yes, it will, right here. Okay, so here, okay, it's been tested those two places, and that, look at this, I could draw it in, but I'm not going to. See the M? There's your double top. From here to here to here and down. Okay, again, here, down, back up, down. So, people who are into double tops and double bottoms, the rule is once you take out this V here, you're highly likely to get back down at or near or sometimes below the origin of the original move up. Okay, now, would you say this is the origin or this? Okay, I guess it really didn't matter because it actually came back and took them both out. All right, I was just looking for it to get back to here, which it did, okay, on this initial move. Okay, but what I'm showing you is why 2961 is on our charts. So it was respected there. Okay, now we'll move back across. Get back over here. Let me get in a little bit closer so you can see it better. It was respected here again. Here it broke through, came right back down, okay, right back down, and now we're going to see if it's respected again. So just in the recent past, it's been respected several times. This is an hourly chart too. So obviously if I went back further, if I expanded the amount of days that I could go back on a 15 or a 30 or a 5 or whatever, you will see it's been tested more times than just the 3 or 4 I've shown you here. So when I broke it back down to that 15, okay, right here, the bottom of this candle, this green candle, okay, and between this area and the bottom of there could potentially be some resistance, and we'll be watching for that, okay, if we get a pop. So far, we haven't got any kind of a pop, which is kind of odd, right? You know, I know some people that I respect today, they were saying they expected we weren't going to do anything. I don't know that I expected anything in terms of was the action going to be crazy and volatile, or were we going to be in a range? I mean, you can basically, you can go, you know, right back to here and across, and we've basically been in this range right here. I'll draw it in for quite a while now. So I come back over here. Give me 1 second. There we go. And then come down to right about there. Okay, and I'll change this to gray. And you guys who follow me in, are either in my room or been on these live streams before, gray is either a range or a structure level. Okay, so there you go, right? So here's price action, these lines. Then it dipped down here. Now we're coming back up. And this gray box, This is the range we've been in since 4 o'clock this morning. Come over to here, or was that, let's see. Yes, 4 o'clock this morning. And there was our opening candle. And then here's where we're at right now. And again, got to take these wicks out here. And if we can, then it might be able to pop up into here. So that's what we're watching for. All right. What I'm going to do, let me go back to the 30-minute. We're going to go look at some other names. But I'm going to set some alerts so we'll know what's going on. So I'm going to set one just under this level up here. So if that sucker goes off, we'll know that we popped up. So I'll set it at 29.60. And then I already have one down here at the bottom of these wicks. So if for any reason it reverses and makes a big move down, then this one will go off. Okay, so let me go to our chat room. Okay, here was our watch list from today. So let's take a look. Let's see how these names played out. We're going to go to the daily. And the first one we're going to look at is APRN, which is Blue Apron. Say Blue Apron obviously can get volatile at times. All right, so what we had was an inside candle. It was actually somewhat of a dragonfly doji. We would have been triggered at 840, and it's been as high as 864, so 20-cent move. Probably could have made a little bit on Blue Apron because as you can see, okay, look at the candles here. You'll have some bigger ones every once in a while, but even the big candles are, you know, $1.50, $1.80. Okay, then you have these small guys that are like 50, 60 cents, right? So 20-cent move from our trigger there. Might have been able to make a few bucks. Okay, so that's Apron, Blue Apron. Okay, Codex, CODX. CODX. This name has been volatile recently, not doing anything today. Let's look here. Okay, not doing anything today, but what it is doing is contracting. See this? I'm not going to draw it in, okay, but price is contracting here on the daily. So we could anticipate some sort of a big move coming up in the coming day or two on Codex. CODX. Microsoft. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Get my Thinkorswim to cooperate, which it's not doing. There we go. Okay. Okay, nothing to really do on Microsoft. Okay, inside again, even though this is odd, okay, it's more like this. This is also still contracting. Still contracting. Inside, this is not an inside candle, but it is inside of this candle. Okay, so price is still contracting right now on Microsoft. Nothing really to do there. Okay, Stitch Fix, SFIX, SFIX. Okay, nothing. Very similar. See, what happened is a couple of days ago, we had big ranges on a lot of candles. Big ranges. So then what typically happens is for sure the next day, and sometimes several days after, price goes into contraction, right? It gets smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually it bounces and breaks out one way or the other. And that's what's happening with a lot of these names. TNK. This is TK Tankers. And again, very similar. Okay, inside candle, and we're just not doing a whole lot. Now, let's look here. There may have been a secondary play here. It poked its head above, and then when it comes back down through, you can take this the other way. Opening price level was at 1656. That would have been your trigger going back the other way, and it got as low as 1584. So that's 16 and 56 is what, 72 cents. I guarantee you could have made some money. Again, just look at the size of the candles. Okay, this doesn't normally move a whole lot. So 72 cents, even if you caught 60, 65 cents of that, you could have made some money there. Okay, Cisco, CSCO. See, we just had a couple more people join us. Welcome. Make sure you definitely give us thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications bell, and you'll get notified anytime we go live or we upload any new content. Again, nothing to do. We would have had no trigger here. Okay, this candle here, okay, would have to be taken out on one side or the other. So it looks like, unless something changes in the next hour and a half, we may end up going inside on Cisco, which could lead to a pop one direction or the other in the next day or so. Okay, and what would we anticipate? Okay, for now, I'll draw this in and then take it off. Get back to my drawing tool. Okay, for now, we know just by simply doing that we're trending up. Okay, I show you guys this all the time. If you want the most simple, basic way to know whether you're trending up or down or sideways, go back to the bottom, okay, of your last current move or pivot. Okay, and then just draw a line from there to current price. And that's going to show you that we're trending up. So if price consolidates here, okay, the likelihood is that you might continue up. And look here, the 200 and the 20 are starting to come together. Okay, that's a building of energy. Now, we trade price action. Price action, supply and demand, and support and resistance. So we don't try to guess, like, I'm giving you the kind of textbook technical analysis. If you're moving in this direction, you start to contract, they'll tell you that you're more likely to bounce to the upside. We just wait for the break of whatever that contraction is. Right? If I get closer here, okay, so if the contraction looks something like this, okay, we're just waiting to break out one direction or the other, and then we'll know where our targets are, okay, depending on which way we break. Okay, if we break to the upside and we could clear the 200, then we would be looking at this next resistance level. If we would break down, okay, right now there's nothing in our way until we get down near the bottom of this candle. Okay, simple as that. We keep it really, really easy, really simple in the Simple Trading Life community. Okay, you don't have to complicate things. There's no reason for it. Let me get some of these off of my screen. Okay, so nothing to do there. That was Cisco. Okay, Lake, which is Lakeland Industries. And another reason that you're not seeing very many of these names move is because the market's not moving, right? We're not getting much volatility out of the market today. Okay, Lakeland, a little bit of an upside move, but that's nothing, again, that's not even a trade I would have taken because of the 20 being right there, because your trigger is going to be taking out the top of this candle, and that is at 1390, okay, and your high is only been 1397. It's only 7 cents, right? And you've got the 20 coming down, and you're in a downtrend. Okay, you bounced here, came up, bounced here again, but you can see it's not been able to get through the 20. Okay, it's right up to it right now. Now, if it would reclaim the 20, hold it, or break, retest, and go, that's a different story. Okay, but I wouldn't have taken this trade simply because of this obstacle right here. And you have this big wick over here too, right there. All right, let's look at NetEase, NTES. But again, because the market's not doing a whole lot, most of these names haven't been either. Now, we might have something here. Let's look. Okay, our trigger would have been at 385.95, and it's been as high as 397.35. So there we've got some movement. Over $11. Over $11 of movement from our trigger. Definitely could have made some money on that. This is NetEase. Okay, so our trigger is taking out the top of this hammer. We went as high as 397.35. The top of that hammer was, just say 386. It was 385.99. So 386. So that was $11.35 move. You know, even if you caught $8 of that, $7 of that, you know, being conservative, probably would have caught more. That would have been a nice move. So NetEase off of our watch list. There's a nice one. Netgear, NTGR. Okay, Netgear, yes. Okay, got a nice move here. Trigger at $25, and it's been as high as $25.78. And just look at the size of these candles. Okay, 78-cent move on Netgear is going to pay you. You're going to get paid on that. Because look, okay, here's the biggest candle on the screen. Here's your average size candles. Okay, so this is bigger than average. So you'd get paid on that. I mean, this is only a $25 stock. Okay, Twitter. Let's take a look at Twitter. Twitter. Okay, now Twitter has, let me see if it actually took out both sides. It did. Okay, so this is what we call a single candle power reversal. And what that means is you take out both sides of the preceding candle. Your trigger, you would have had two of them here. Okay, you could have triggered here coming down. Now, for me, let me see what that was. 29.56. Okay, I probably would not have taken this right here only because we had support right there. And look what it did. It bounced right at support. Okay, who says support and resistance doesn't work? But this coming back up through would be the better play. Okay, you enter right there at 29.70. And it went as high as 30.35, 65-cent move this direction. Could possibly even continue higher. But again, look at the size of the candles. And then look at this. That move would pay you, right? That move would pay you. Okay, this is an average size candle. Okay, so that's Twitter. That was a single candle power reversal. That's a price action thing. You come down, you take out one side, and you go all the way back through and take out the other side. And let me go back to that for 1 second. So a question that some people might have, hey Cathal, good to see you, buddy. Cathal is a member in the Simple Trading Life community. Somebody might say, well, how do I know this is likely? All right. You're never going to know 100%, but here's some clues. Again, you've got support just below here. And what is the overall market doing when this is occurring, right? So if we go back and we look at ES, now I'm going to have to go back to the 30-minute though. Give me 1 second to get to the right time frame. Okay, go back to the opening candle of the day, which was right there. Okay, right here. Okay, it dipped down, and then what did it do? formed a hammer, and then went higher. Okay, so if you're watching this price action, and I tell the folks in my room, you should always have your eye on ES or SPY, so you know what the market is doing. If the market dips down and bounces and then goes higher, probably about 80 to 85%, sometimes more, of all the names in the market are going to do the same thing, just at their price level. Okay, so we've seen what happened here. Now, if we go back, that was Twitter if I remember right. If we go back to Twitter, okay, look at Twitter on the 30-minute, right? It did the same exact thing. And then it followed up with just levels of structure. Okay, up, higher high, lower low at the 20, higher high, higher high, higher low, bouncing off the 20, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then here's where we're at right now. Okay, so that's how you can kind of gauge what is likely to happen. All right. Okay, I think we just have a couple of more. Alta. I have a friend who loves to trade Alta. I got to go back to the daily. Okay, Alta. Our trigger was right here, 210.60, and it went as low as 204.33. So $6 move, then it bounced. And it's going to end up, unless something changes, it's going to end up forming a hammer, which means tomorrow we may be looking at an upside move, potentially, depends on what the market's doing. All right, so it flushed down right here to one of our support levels, and that was over a $6 move, and then it came back through. Okay, so again, conservatively, if you caught $4 of that, okay, you don't even have to catch $5 or $5.50. If you caught $4 of that, you made good money. That's Alta. And then DVAX. Okay, DVAX was one of our what we call small account growth names, and I don't know that it ever triggered. It did not. Here's the alert. Okay, so it never triggered. Okay, we have reasoning behind why we don't want to get into it. And then the other one, which is not on this list, I added it literally a few minutes before we got to the opening bell. Let me go to here we go. Okay, so our trigger was right here. This was Pixie. The trigger was at 1350 and it went as high as 1556. So $2 move on what is normally a $6 or $7 stock, but obviously had some news. Okay, so it went up. Now here's where it opened. Spiked up, pulled back, spiked up again, then it pulled back, and now it's kind of been working its way down. And that's all we're looking for is one of these, even if it's this one, okay, 14.94, that's almost 15, and what did we say this was, 13.50? So that one right there was almost $1.50. If that's all you caught, that's awesome, right? That's great. Because that's all we look for on a small account growth name is just that initial pop. We're not looking to trade that thing throughout the day. And I tell the folks in my room this all the time. Whether I put 2 of them or 3 of them or 4 of them or 5 of them, I almost never have more than 5. We're just hoping one. We are just hoping that one of them pops. That's it. Okay, so we got that today. We got one to pop. And then that's it. Okay, so we've been through the watch list. Let's look at a few other names. And then we'll go back and look at some other things. Okay, oh, let me get rid of the after hours, clean up the charts a little bit. whenever I'm doing analysis in the evenings or the mornings, I have those turned on and then I turn them off during the day. Okay, here's Apple. Okay, Apple opened relatively flat, but actually had a nice strong move and then sort of flattened out. Okay, so it had this nice initial move. Let's see here. Opened at 315.03. And on its initial move up, went to 318.52. So about $3.50. And then it's just pretty much been flat the rest of the day. So that's Apple. Let's see if AMD has done anything today. We'll just jump around. Oh, look at this. Nice move by AMD right out of the gates. So opened up at 54.42 and went as high as 56.61. $2 move to the upside before it had a structure pullback. Tried to go higher and now is sort of flattened out. Okay, $2 move on AMD. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. This is one of my favorite names to trade. Amazon. Okay, similar. Okay, it's funny today how some of the names pulled back when the market did off the open, and some of them just blasted just right off the bat. Okay, Amazon, this initial candle, 24.29 to 24.68. So that was almost a $60 candle right there. Right? 29 to 68, excuse me, $40. Almost a $40 candle right there. That's all you caught. Now I know a lot of people don't play Amazon because of how expensive it is. Let's see here. Let's look at Baba. Okay, Baba, nice move to the upside. Opened here. It did flush down like the market did and then moved back up. But here's your open, 216.73. And this is the candle really. Well, maybe this one, 220 from 216.73. Almost $4. Over $3.50 from opening price level, not including this flush. Let's look at Beyond. I think Beyond might have had some news today. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. There's a nice initial spike. It gapped up, gap and go, and opened at 132.73. Just this initial candle alone was over $7, almost $7.30. And it went 141.89. So about $9 to the upside before it got the structure pullback. So that was Beyond. And I'll see if anything catches my eye. Let's look at Facebook. Facebook announced that they're going to have a new platform called Shops with an S. Okay, and I think they announced it somewhere in the afternoon, possibly. Well, let's look at the news. All right, that was 2 o'clock. That was 2 o'clock. Basically 2 o'clock. Trying to see when the very first time it came out. That's 118, 113. So it looks like 113. 113. Let's find that candle. It's this one right here. So there was the spike. And this candle alone was almost a $3 candle. So on the issuance of the news, now did somebody know it already? Maybe. Okay, maybe. It's been strong all day. It opened at 213.11 and it's been as high as 220.38. That's a $7 upside move for Facebook, which is pretty strong. Look at the action yesterday, right? Pretty flat. Okay, today, really strong move. See if any of these catch our eye. Nothing there. Let's see, NVIDIA. See what kind of action we got here. Again, strong move on the initial candle. Opened at 351.60, went as high as 361.90. $10, over $10 on the initial candle. Even if you sold, you know, as it started to come back, you probably caught $7 to $10 of that. If you're a player on NVIDIA, that was not on our watch list. Okay, but you always hear about people who talk about trading. I only trade the first 30 to 45 minutes, or I only trade the first hour to hour and a half. Well, look, this is why. This is what happens a lot of the time, right? All the move, when I say all, most of it, 90% of the move was in the first 30 minutes, and the rest of the day, other than this little bump there, it's been flat. Okay, so you're just basically spinning your wheels. Now, sometimes towards the end of the day, you can get spikes up or down. All right, so that was NVIDIA. Any of these? Pepsi. Why would Pepsi be dropping? No, it's not a huge move. Oh, yeah, it is. Right here. I'm sorry. Let's see if it had some news. This is Pepsi. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, there was a shooting star. I must have missed this, or I would have had it on my list. There's the shooting star. Oh, we're on the 30-minute. That's why. I'm sorry. That's just how it ended yesterday. We're on the 30-minute, not the daily. Okay, so it had a strong move down and then has basically been flat the rest of the day. Opening candle opened at 134.43, went as low as 132.35, so over a $2 move, and that's a strong move for Pepsi. Okay, Children's Place. Now this is more what I expected to see with a lot of these names. See how it flushed down to the 20 and then spiked back up and then has been flat, just like the market, right? The market started by flushing down, then came back up, and then showed a little bit of strength, and then has basically been flat. So there's Children's Place. Another one that I know several of the folks in our room likes to trade is PSTI. Not much. Let's see, not much today. A little bit choppy. You see down, back up, down, whipped up, down. That would have been kind of tough to trade. That kind of would have been tough to trade. PayPal. Let's see if we have any action on PayPal. Not strong move up. Opened at 146, went up to 149.72, so $3.72 move on the first two candles. That's good. That's really good on PayPal. Okay, the Q's, Roku. I'm just looking to see if any of these are catching my eye. Here's Shop. Now, the funny thing is, let's see if we can verify it. Yeah, right here. Okay, there's the 1 o'clock candle. Remember when Facebook announced their new platform, Shops, with an S. Okay, Shop, down, and then boom. Look at that. Look at that. That is just unbelievable. And then right back up. This was because there was some confusion, obviously. You know, is Facebook buying Shop? Is Facebook combining, merging with Shop? Right? But look at that. Down and then this explosion back up. The low of this candle was 713.90. 719. The high of this candle was 765. Two candles right there. And that's all because of that Facebook news. Kind of nuts. All right, SPY, Tilray, Tesla. See if Tesla did anything today. Now we had a strong downside move. Let's see, we opened at 828 and we got as low as 803. So about a $25 move from here. Obviously it looks like it went up and tagged the resistance level and then came back down to the 20, kind of caught some support here at the 20 and has been moving back up. A little bit of a W there. If you see this move down, then it came back up, then back down, then back up. Okay. But about a $25 move to the downside. TTD. This is becoming one of our favorites because you'll get these wild days, which are good for trading, but nothing really dramatic today on TTD. Not like this, right? We don't care which direction it goes, up or down, just as long as it goes somewhere. All right, we already looked at Twitter, UAL, United Airlines. Okay, big drop. Here's the open, flushed it down. So opened at 25.62, got as low as 23.33, so over a $2 move. And you can tell just by looking at the candles, that's a big move. That's a big move for UAL. We already looked at Alta. And then let's look at Zoom. Zoom had some news today that they were no longer going to offer free services to China or Chinese companies, I believe, was the news, something to that effect. And it had a very negative reaction here early. See this big drop, but then look, big bounce. Caught some support right here around 164.50. And, excuse me. I'm looking at two different days. This is today. Okay, so it opened here, spiked up, came down. This would have been really choppy. When you see green, red on four candles like that, you have to think in your mind, pogo stick. Up, down, and then finally up off of this inside hammer right here. Okay, this inside hammer right there, this is a price action play. You take out the top of that hammer, especially because you would be taking out breaking and trying to hold the 20 SMA, and then look at the move. Okay, so the top of this hammer was 168, let's say 168.70, and we've been as high as 173.25. So 168, not quite a $5 move, over $4, just from here. Okay, so you let this choppy stuff play out. You get your nice inside. I love inside hammers or inside shooting stars, and this is why. These are the types of moves that it can lead to. And when you're trading price action, you can trade the price action rules and setups and triggers on any time frame. Now, when you're on a 30-minute, when you're on an hour, okay, even to some degree a 15-minute, they're going to be a little bit more reliable, and you'll tend to get bigger moves than if you're trading a 2-minute or a 3-minute or a 5-minute. Okay, they still apply. You just might not get as much reliability and quite the size of the move. All right, so that was Zoom, and I can just look at the news here. Suspends new individual registrations in China. Trying to find it. I know I've seen somewhere, I don't see it in here. I know I've seen it somewhere that it said they were no longer going to offer free services, and maybe that's what that means, that news article, to Chinese companies. All right, so let's go back up. Let's see what the market is doing. Let's get back to our 30-minute. All right, so since we've been gone, again, look, tried to spike up, couldn't go anywhere. Tried to spike up, couldn't go anywhere. We never even hit our alert up here. Okay, so still, in my estimation, this is showing that the market may be getting tired. Okay, may be getting tired. I'm not making any predictions. I'm not saying, hey, you should go short. This thing's about to plunge. I'm just talking about the price action. Typically, when you see this, okay, you're going to continue back up to here. All right, but what did we do? We stalled back out, came down, we've come back up, and it looks like we're trying to stall out again. Okay, and I've already drawn the box in. Look at this range since 4 a.m. this morning. Okay, all of this just in this range right here. So basically, it's just not doing anything. That's why I said I'm not excited to trade today, because this is what I primarily trade. Right, about 90% of my trades I trade ES. Always have. I shouldn't say always, but for a long, long time, years and years and years. I just like to trade ES. I think it offers financial opportunity every day. Okay, it's trying to go red here. Obviously, if it would take out this wick, well, it really need to take out the 20 too. The 20 is more important here. If it took out the 20, let's set an alert. We'll set an alert just below there. That would be even more crucial or telling, right? Because when it reclaimed it here, okay, it bounced off the 20. So if it can break through it and start going lower, well, then we know, okay, there's something to this. Okay, wow, it's really starting to move. Let's, I'll kind of get this in a little bit. Here we go. Okay, we're testing the 20 right now. Okay, now we're moving back to opening price level. Let me see if there's any news while this is playing out. No, nothing yet. Nothing that's come across the news wire, I should say. There could be something that's on Twitter or something like that. In fact, I'll go to Twitter right while we're on here, and we'll see. This could possibly be it. It says Congress, both Democrats and Republicans agree on the need for another pandemic stimulus package. But there's obviously going to be a struggle because the Democrats, they want it targeted to states and cities. They want it scaled back. It says they're willing to accept a scaled back aid to states and cities. The Republicans want a scaled back, they want business liability protections. Okay, business liability protections. And a possible payroll tax cut. Interesting. Interesting. That's obviously why this is tanking right now. So let me get back over here. Remember, this starts to get into a crucial level. If this thing doesn't catch a bounce somewhere, that gets into a really crucial level. And just going to keep my eye on it here. Let me bring your comments back up. Okay, but you can see, right? You can see what happens when the market when the market's fragile. Okay, I said that it felt tired. It felt tired. One headline, and we get this flush. Okay, now it's trying to go lower. There's going to be a struggle right here. Okay, obviously this is a support level. There'll be a struggle. If bulls can't stem the tide and this gets taken out, you start running into the risk of an absolute flush. Okay, down, to maybe somewhere in here, possibly even all the way down to 28.95. Okay, so we'll watch this for a little bit. I was going to cut this a little bit short today. I haven't been feeling very well lately, health-wise. Don't exactly know what's wrong. It's just like I'm just been extremely tired for like no reason. So anyway, so we're catching a bounce right here. Okay, catching a bounce. So now we're going to see, is this a real bounce? Or is this just bulls trying to do anything they can to keep this thing from flushing? We'll watch it play out for a minute or two. So what I would be watching for is if they can reclaim the 20, then bulls have, done a pretty good job of fighting back. See what they're trying to do here. If bears can keep it below the 20, we might start to see it like drift lower during the overnight session. Maybe even before the end of regular trading hours. We'll see. Oh, sorry guys. I may have lost you. I'm sitting here messing around on my phone. I just want to... Just trying to watch everything here and talk to you guys. Okay. All right. So again, right as I was just telling you that the market felt tired, we get a headline, and we were clear up here. So we were actually, I take that back. We were right around the top of the box because I had said that we had poked up and pulled back a little bit. So we basically flushed 20 bucks in the snap of your fingers. That's what happens. That's what happens when the market is tired, right? Now, none of us saw that announcement coming. But if the market is in a fragile state and you get the wrong kind of news, right, that's what can happen. And there's still a struggle going on right here. I'm telling you. I mean, and I actually, the folks in my room, they know I gave some targets before the start of trading today. And I told them, I said, if we start to get some kind of momentum to the downside, we could get down into here. Okay, right down into here. Now, I have to take this out first, and I showed you there's also at 29.27 to 29.30.50. That is where that basing action is. Let me just come back over here. Right here. Okay, that's where this is. You get below here, You get below these, look, there's nothing to stop it. Okay, it could drop easily down into here. Okay, so we'll just have to watch it. We'll see what can happen. We'll see if the bulls fight back, or if the bears seize the opportunity, right? Okay, do the bears seize the opportunity? Because right through here, it's just been a chop fest, which that means there's equilibrium, right? Nobody's really in control in here. Nobody's really in control. This, right? This shows you that for at least a few minutes, the bears were in firm control. Now, right now, the bulls are trying to fight back. Let's see what's going on here. Give me a second. I'm sorry, guys. I was checking something there. But anyway, like I said, I wanted to kind of wrap this up early today. Does anybody have any questions about anything before we get off of here? Is there anything I can answer for you? Anything you either didn't understand? Okay, I hope everybody knows what you're going to be watching for here. Can bulls reclaim, okay, break through and hold the 20 and start driving price back up? Or does this candle, okay, now we've got, a little less than 24 minutes. Does this candle end up like a spinning top or a doji or even a shooting star? If that's the case, then we might be looking at more downside. Okay, so you got to be very, very careful. If you're long anything and you start to see that play, that happen, you want to be very, very careful. Now, if they can reclaim this and start to work back up, okay, that might show some strength, right, after this. But what you're watching for in the next 20 to 23 minutes is how does this candle end up? If it ends up down here like a spinning top or a doji or a shooting star, then the likelihood is they're going to try to continue to move lower. If it ends up somewhere like it is now, it's about 50-50, right? I'm just saying if it ended right here at the 20, it'd be about 50-50. This next candle could go either way. Because you got to factor in the probabilities. You have to factor in the probabilities. Okay, see, it's trying to get back above. It gets up there and then it falls back a little bit. It's just above the 20 and it falls back a little bit. So that's what I'm watching for, just so you guys know. That's what I'm watching for. Okay, I don't see any questions from anybody. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back on Friday at 2 o'clock and we'll do this all again. So everybody trade well. Remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notifications bell. And definitely share us with your friends. We're over the 100 subscriber mark, which was our first goal. Now we want to start building towards 500, towards 1,000, and so on and so forth. So definitely share us with other folks that you know. This is all free. Check us out in the SimpleTradingLife.com community. SimpleTradingLife.com. We have a free chat room and we have a premium room. Check us out in either one. We'd love to have you. So have a great day and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.